Well, yes, you made it. You made it to Desire Justice. I'm your host, Anthony Steele. Yeah, it's that time to talk about some of the issues, some of the good stuff. We do this thing where, hey, we make sure that it's heard from all sides. And first, I want to give you my side. How about that, huh? Yeah, make sure you understand that, hey, look, there's some stuff that we want to talk about today. We're going to be talking about sports betting, and not so much to keep you from betting on sports, but something else for you to think about, It's just kind of crazy, sports betting used to be, folks going to the racetrack, go to the window, or going to Vegas and betting at the sports book, or, sometimes folks would just go down to their local corner bar in other states, and they would go and they would bet, and, it was what it was. You had a guy that was called a bookie and all that kind of stuff, but okay, hey, they made book and everybody was all right. They did their thing. But now, somebody say, but now, there's too much, potential for mess to go on. Folks that, they didn't want things like gambling in baseball. They didn't want gambling in things like football. They didn't want gambling in things like basketball. They didn't want any of that. They just wanted, for you to realize that none of the players were allowed to gamble, especially on teams that they were already a part of, and certainly they didn't want them betting on their own games. We could get back into baseball in the early 1900s of the White Sox, or Black Sox, I should say, or whatever, Sox, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and all those great folklore kind of betting scandals. But if you think about it, there's a problem, because now the leagues themselves are now involved in sports betting. Now, how in the world, the ones that were trying to regulate, the people that tried to keep people like Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame for betting, people who wanted to throw out certain officials who got caught betting in NBA and all of those folks. Now Major League Baseball's in bed with the betting sites. The NBA's in bed with the betting sites. This is some real stuff. This is some real stuff. And now with the new CBA, with the new collective bargaining agreement for Major League Baseball after this last or recent lockout, where they didn't agree. One of the things that was in there was the fact that Major League Baseball made it so that the players would be protected. Protected. Can you imagine that? They have to be protected from, gamblers, from bookies, from other entities, so that they could make sure that their lives wouldn't threaten, to help the integrity of the game. Can you imagine this? Well, the problem is they're getting billions of dollars with a B from these betting sites, and yet they can't understand why folks question the integrity of the game. Now, look at this. Now, in 2018, the Major League Baseball, they issued a statement, and they issued a statement about sports betting because the Supreme Court had passed or made a decision, I should say, about gambling on sports, and they allowed now all across state lines, all across America, the ability to bet on sports, to have gambling sites, basically say that it's no longer illegal in the United States of America to only bet on sports in Las Vegas or in the state of Nevada. You could bet. States could actually open it up and decide for themselves if they wanted to have sports betting. And so after that, in 2018, we found that Major League Baseball, and I'll get into the NBA. I mean, it's just kind of questionable over there, but I'll get into the NFL as well. But let's just start with, what does Major League Baseball say? Because right now there's only maybe one or two teams that have an actual agreement with the betting sites. They're kind of doing it seriatim. They're just each particular team has their own agreement. So not as a league, but certainly they are starting to allow teams to put forward contracts with these sites. Also, Major League Baseball, through this latest CBA, is allowing for players to use their likeness to make money for these sites and lend their names, and so everybody's kind of in this thing. But in 2018. Look at what Major League Baseball said. They said the decision, watch this, the decision by the United States Supreme Court will have profound effects on Major League Baseball. As each state, look at this, as each state considers whether to allow sports betting, we will continue to seek the proper protections for our sport in partnership with other professional sports. Our most important priority, this is important, our most important priority is protecting the integrity of our games. Hello, somebody. Protect the integrity of our games. Remember that, what I just said. And then it goes on further to say, we will continue to support legislation that creates airtight coordination and partnerships between the state, the casino operators, and the governing bodies in, oh my goodness, can you believe this? In sports toward that goal. You got to be kidding me. This is important because now we're finding that the Players Association insists that players have protection. We're also finding that before we get in bed with gambling sites, with all of this kind of stuff, we have to also realize that. Also, not only the players, but then also don't forget the officials. Umpires have great power in Major League Baseball. So much so that, guess what? By osmosis, after over 100 years of having baseball and having umpires call balls and strikes, guess what? By next year, by 2023, Major League Baseball, they're already doing it at the minor league level, but Major League Baseball won't even have officials calling the games anymore. No, we're going to leave that up to a computer. That way, we know that it's all above board and everything is absolutely fair. I wonder where that came from. I wonder what made the umpires lose their job. I wonder what begins to change the actual culture of baseball. I mean, no more, strikes and balls being called by the umpire. You don't have to worry about having an argument with the coach and the and The umpire. I wonder what a guy like Tommy Lasorda and Billy Martin, what would they do trying to argue with a computer these days? I mean, it's just I don't know. I don't feel good about it. I need to tell you all. I don't feel good about it. Love to hear what you have to say about it. I mean, it's just it's changing the culture of the game, because now they're betting so much on it. They're betting so heavily on it, and now the league is somewhat marching its way toward a relationship with gambling sites that they have no way of doing what they say by creating an airtight coordination and partnership between the state, the casino operators, and the governing bodies. Because governing bodies in sports who put forward the officials, who put forward the umpires and referees, they now are also involved in the bet on the game itself. Does that not strike you kind of funny that, oh, by the way, we control the game. Oh, by the way, we determine what's fair and what's not fair. Oh, and by the way, we can actually throw a guy out of the game without any recourse. Oh, and by the way, we can actually affect the outcome of the game. Oh, and by the way, at the same time, we also are making money off of the betting of the game. Now, that's fool's gold. Who would actually put money on a game that they know that the referee, basically, the referee comes from an entity that's making money off of the betting of the game? Wow. Just let that soak in, let it run around in your mind a little while. I mean, it's just crazy, I just wanted to kind of get this ball rolling on thinking about, the problems that we have now in professional sports. I mean, it's not an accident that all of a sudden, all of the games are nail biters, and all of a sudden, everyone put all of their money on. Guess what? That's who loses. Oh, guess what? Oh, hey, guess who really wins? The gambling site. Guess who really wins? The bookmaker. But guess who now really wins? The actual governing bodies in sports. Yep, that's because they're in bed with the bookie. So, they're working with the bookie. Can't you see this? Absolutely crazy. Thanks for stopping by. Desire Justice.